Are you shy? Are you a shy person? Because someone sent in a question on our Curious Cat. It said that they would appreciate if you guys could talk about or advice on ways to overcome shyness and be more sociable and socially confident. This means this person here has got like severe shyness that prevents them from making friends easily. So we're just gonna speak about that, I guess. So go on, guys.
I think it boils down to when something's in your head, you blow it out of proportion. Yeah?
Right.
Like even me, you know, if you've got like a speck of dirt on your shirt, you think that's the only thing anyone's ever looking at. You get me? Every passerby is looking at your shirt thinking, wow, this person's such a dirty person.
Yeah.
Right.
But nobody cares. Nobody's looking at your t-shirt. Nobody cares about. And if they do, it's like, oh, he probably spilled something on himself, and they carry on. But your brain is building that up. Do you get me? So when it happens to everybody, it happens to me. It happens to, I know it happens to these two. Do you get me? Before, you know, meeting maybe a new group of people, in your head, you're like, what if they think this? What if they think that? What if they... But yeah, you have to force yourself to sort of dive in. You have to force yourself to jump in and really swim or drown. One of them two, really.
We are our own worst
Enemies, isn't it?
enemies. Yeah, we are our worst judges of ourselves. And I think, like you said, jumping in there is one way of doing it. Personally, what worked for me when I was growing up, yeah, I went to a boys' school,
Right.
yeah,
All boys.
no girl.
Right.
Mussa, you know what it is.
I know.
Better
We went to the same school.
gang squad. But yeah, we went to the same school, and it's just guys. There was no girls, so meeting girls was a myth. You get me? Unless you skipped school. But that's a story for another day. I'm sure we'll get to it one day. But growing up without in an environment without girls, you become very shy. But my solution to it was I acted overly confident. Yeah.
Right.
You heard the phrase "fake it till you
Fake
make
it,
it."
yeah.
I faked it out of it, and I pretended to be this confident guy, especially not just to random people, especially to females and also guys or whatnot. I'd pretend to be the most sociable
Person.
I'd act the role like it was. I should have got an Oscar for it.
Right.
the way I acted. And I found that to help me eventually
Right.
become.
End up believing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, me, my personal view on this now, because I am a shy person, right? Even like if I'm going to like an event or anything like that, I would much prefer to keep myself to myself, right? And I recently took that, that 16 personality testing, right? And it comes out that I'm like 60% introvert and like 40% extrovert, which makes sense because I like when there's an opportunity for me to keep myself to myself, I would keep myself to myself. But if I'm put in a scenario where like I have to be sociable, I have to like speak to people or I have to like approach people, I would do it. Like, but it's like an effort. Like I have to like force myself. Like this girl, I'm assuming it's a girl, but she said that they've got like extreme shyness, right? So when you go and speak to someone, it's like you're freezing up. Like the whole idea of like you're struggling to like hold the conversation. You're struggling to even speak to this person or even interact and have a conversation with this person. And that's okay. You got to understand that it's okay for you to feel like that, right? It's okay that it might not be a thing for you. Like it might not be as easy as it might be for Yassine than it might be for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone's got their own like struggles, innit? You just got to use what you have and use that to your best of your abilities, right? So the way that I did it was like through YouTube videos. Like my confidence grew through YouTube. It was like that was like my way of doing it, because if you look at like my old stuff, I would never be in the videos. It was always like of my perspective of like the mandem, right? It would never be on me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I was like that camera shy person. I wouldn't really know how to get myself in front of a camera. But confidence will grow as you put yourself in those scenarios. You'll become more norm to it. Like you put yourself in a social environment 100 times in a year. By the 80th and that 50th time, it's a normal everyday to day thing. But if you're not used to it, then you'll panic and you'll crash. And that's the way I see it.
It's a journey, definitely a journey.
Yeah,
like riding a bike, really.
Learn the basics, innit?
So maybe set yourself some targets. Like say to yourself, you know what? Yeah, today in lecture, I'm gonna ask a question. You know, that can be your target for the day. You put your hand up, you ask one question. In the lecture, or maybe you say to yourself, today I'm gonna speak to one stranger. Even have a 5-minute conversation. You might ask a question. It might be the dumbest question ever. You might crash and burn. What's the worst case scenario? People laugh about it. People forget about it the next day. Do you remember? Do you remember an embarrassing situation that happened 10 years ago?
Nope.
You don't. It gets deleted from your head. Everybody in that room, I guarantee you will forget it, unless you do something really
stupid. I just had a flashback of something that I did when I was 12. I never forget that. But I don't know. I don't know to what you were saying. You're right. I was watching this video on YouTube. This channel called TED. Really good channel. It was this guy talking, this entrepreneur talking about rejection and failure.
Right.
More so failure. He was talking about how he similarly had this confidence issue. He couldn't talk in front of people. He'd feel really scared in front of strangers, and I'm assuming that's something close to what the person in question was feeling. Just like he was saying, set yourself targets and go face your fears.
Yeah.
Go make random conversation with people. Go and fail. You can only fail so many times, and after that you become numb to it. It's nothing, and you become confident like that. I think that's one way of doing it anyway.
And also an easier way to do it now is doing it through a job, for example. So if you go and get a sociable job, for example, working at Starbucks or like like any coffee shop or a place where you will have to interact with customers on a day-to-day basis, even working like in like JD, Primark, any of these shops, you will have to interact with people on a day-to-day basis, and through that you will 100% eradicate like any shyness that you had or any problems you had trying to hold a conversation, because you're doing it on a day-to-day basis. It will become a norm to you, because at the moment it's not normal to you because you're finding it like extremely hard.
And I was gonna add to that, it doesn't even have to be that. You don't have to even like, I know what you're saying, you don't have to just go and put yourself out there. You can even do it on your phone at the comfort of your own home. Do you know, Snapchat?
Yeah.
A lot of people that are not very confident, sorry I nearly smashed your phone there.
Nah.
A lot of people that are not too confident, they can't even, I see that in myself sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like we all have our little, whether it's shyness or insecurities, like there's certain things about me or the way I speak, the way I think, the way I look that I don't like about myself.
Right.
And one way I face that is that even on Snapchat, I just talk to people on Snapchat, or I put it on my story because I know I have friends and I've got strangers on Snapchat.
Yeah.
That's another way of showing yourself, overcoming
that fear. Yeah.
of that little fear. So you can start small baby steps will take you far.
Do you know what? I read this thing which was very interesting. It was that it's all about conquering your fears. Now, if you conquer fears on a daily basis, then what that does is it gives you that mentality of conquering fears. And the guy that was saying that was advocating taking a cold shower every morning, because if you've ever taken a cold shower, you know that when you're about to jump in the shower, it's like you got to really psych yourself up and go and jump in, and you've already won the first battle of the day there. So it's about winning as many battles as you can during the day, and shyness, that's one of them. So go speak.
Builds up your resilience. That builds up your character, man.
And try to. I tried it, bro. It does not work for me. Well, I did it for 2 days. I couldn't do it after that. But I told myself, don't worry, I don't need this stuff. I can do it myself. But another reason for this, like especially in today's society, a lot of people are growing up more shy. It's because of social media. Like if you're constantly on Twitter, if you're constantly like this tweet, and you are the most confident person on Twitter, like you are reckless on Twitter, and you are like confident on Snapchat. But when it comes to day-to-day real life interactions, you are like you're broke, you're like a broken person.
Can't string two sentences together.
Like. And you're not as funny as you are on social media, but that's because you live your life through social media. So like if you live your life through social media, you're more likely to just like, you know what I mean, just crumble in like real life situation, because real life is different from social media. Don't let people fool you into thinking that it's the same thing, and interacting with someone online is the same as interacting with someone in real life, because it's not. It's nowhere near.
Yep.
True, because you talk to, I'm with you on that one, because I've spoken to people on social media, made friends on social media as you do, and then when it comes to actually meeting that person or interacting with them on a face-to-face value, it's like talking to a different person, man.
You can't relate, innit? You can't relate.
Like, whose man's is this?
Whose man's is that? You're like, who was the person that was on Twitter tweeting all that stuff? Like, it's not the same person. But I guess everyone's different in terms of their social media personality, if that makes sense. But stay away from, so if that even means like deactivating all your accounts to put yourself out there, do it, because it will help you in the long run. Because I want to say this point, like when you graduate, or if you already graduated and you are gonna get a job, say you got a first, okay, and this person B got a 2-1, and you go to the interview and you can't even hold eye contact. Eye contact is important. You can't even hold eye contact, and you can't even hold that conversation in that interview. This person with the less grade than you, right, might not even have nowhere near the same experience that you have. He'll get the job, or she'll get the job, because of the fact that they're more sociable. you can't work with someone who's like in their own bubble, because the team chemistry will be off. And that's another thing to actually think about and work towards, because it will benefit you so much for the rest of your life.
I want to expand as well on what we were saying earlier about failing. Fail until you stop caring about failing, until you stop being scared of failing. So go and fail 100 times, go and have the worst case scenario 50 times over until you don't even care about that worst case scenario anymore. If you trip over in front of everyone and embarrass yourself and say the daftest thing ever, then it's not going to get much worse than that. So you're going to stop being scared, which is the fear is really what's holding you back. So once you get rid of that, you'll be fine.
I could not agree more, fam. I had a similar situation where a friend of mine, this wicked brother of mine, asked me this similar. He was in the same predicament. He had this shyness towards females,
Right.
and he wanted to get married, and he didn't want to get married in the conventional Somali way of "Mom, find me someone, we'll get married." He wanted to meet people where he was studying at and get married, but he had this mad shyness of the opposite sex.
Right.
So I preached to him exactly the same thing that I'm saying. Face your failure. Go chat to someone who... It doesn't have to be someone that you're attracted to. He's shy of girls at all. So I said to him, just go speak to any girl. Go speak to the librarian, old lady that's there. String a conversation. Just ask how the day is. Just talk about anything. Day by day with different people. And I think if you don't overcome it fully, you'd overcome it at least slightly. And that's a stepping stone. That's a start.
I agree with you, because you have to start somewhere. If you don't, if you continuously, and I hate people that do this, because I used to do it as well. But you always try to find solutions online. You always try to Google absolute everything, how to overcome shyness, how to do this, how to do that. But you overload on information and have zero action.
Yeah,
right?
so practicality
goes. You have every single knowledge in your head on how to overcome this, but you never act on it. Right, and that's the place that you don't want to be in. You would rather have zero information and acting reckless in order to overcome the situation, because and it's also okay to be shy, fam. It's okay to be a shy person. You don't have to be sociable.
You don't have to be the life of the... Well, I
you
agree with you.
You don't have
to be the life of the party.
Don't try to be extroverted.
Don't.
You know what I mean?
But have the ability to be social and be cool. You don't have to do it on a regular basis. If it's not you, it's not you. It's calm. It's calm. Don't let people think, oh yeah,
he's not sociable. We're not gonna bring him to the show.
This guy's not
bring him in.
Check them back, fam.
Be proud of who you are. There's some situations in life where you're gonna have to act upon it. You'd have to. Some situations require you to be sociable. Like you said, work or gatherings or stuff like that. So it'd be good to brush up on that.
Yeah. And use strangers, because I think complete strangers are better than people in your class, simply because you're never going to see them again.
Right.
You're going to forget about them. They're going to forget about you. So use those people. Mussa was saying, a customer service job, you bump into so many different strangers every single day. Use that. You're never going to see them. Don't care about what they think about you. They don't care either. Nobody cares.
No, but that's the best way to go about it.
Nobody actually cares. You think everyone's thinking about you and looking at you and seeing how you're acting. No one's paying any attention to you. You're just a stranger. You're a passerby.
Right. No, it's on you, really. Don't try to be something you're not, but at the same time have the ability to do that, because it will limit you in life if you're not unable to do that. But yeah, I think
we've covered it.
We've covered it.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for the question, and if you guys have any other questions, feel free to send them in. There's been a lot of questions that we haven't been able to go through. So apologies to those people. Like, comment and subscribe.
We'll see you soon.
Booyah.